How's it going, guys? It is Gareth here. Hope everybody is well. One thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is the story that you are telling yourself. And what I mean by that is like every single one of us is basically telling ourselves a story every single day. We're talking to ourselves like crazy people, but we're not crazy people, but you know what I mean? Like there's a story that we tell ourselves on a subconscious level and on a conscious level, and every single day by telling ourselves a story, it is wiring our brains in a certain way. And basically, a lot of the time, that story is not a positive story, right? And why is it not a positive story? Because we are our own worst critics, right? We are judging ourselves on the worst possible level that anybody possibly can, and this is not a good thing. We really need to be conscious of how we are talking to ourselves, because it is really changing the outlook that we have on life, right? If we can just start switching that, it starts changing everything. I can promise you, mindset is the most important thing when it comes to if you want to be successful, if you want to be happy, if you want to achieve things, etc., etc. So just be aware that you are your own worst critic, and that kind of needs to change. Now, what happens here, right, is like when you start telling yourself these negative stories, you're creating these limiting beliefs, and you're holding yourself back. You're holding yourself back from your potential that you could actually be achieving. And I think as soon as you start doing that, then everything seems to go the wrong way in life. And it's really, really important to just know that a lot of these self-limiting beliefs are only because of the story we tell ourselves. They are in no ways anything real whatsoever, and we can literally remove them if we started telling ourselves a different story, right? So it really is important, seriously, and you might think it's like something that's not real or possible or anything like that, but you literally can start changing the way you think by telling yourself a different story, right? Imagine if you tell yourself a positive story every single day as opposed to a negative story every single day. Every single day you tell yourself a negative story, it gets worse and worse. Every single day you tell yourself a positive story, it gets better and better. So you've just got to start changing the story that you tell yourself. I promise you, right? How do we do this? Okay, first of all, we've got to be that little bit more caring. Like I said in the beginning, we're our own worst critiques, okay? But we've got to actually just be a bit more caring with ourselves. You've got to be a bit more loving and tell ourselves a different story, right? Because the only way you're going to change your outlook is if you start feeling good about yourself, and when you start feeling good, when you start caring for yourself, you're going to tell yourself a different story, I can promise you, right? Turn negative thoughts into positive ones, right? Negative statements into positive ones, okay? You might wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, it's another day. I can't face another day. Maybe you can start it with, oh my gosh, it's another day. The sun is shining. I'm happy to be alive. Instead of starting the day with, oh my word, I'm going to have to deal with this person today. It's going to be another struggle. Going, cool, today's going to be, I'm going to see this person. I know it's going to be a challenge, but how I deal with it and how I respond is going to, make it a better outcome. Or, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm whatever. Just start telling yourself a little different story. And it doesn't have to be massive, and it doesn't have to be egotistical or arrogant or any of those things. Just start telling yourself a better story. Hey, you're actually cool. You're funny, you're kind, people like you, those sort of things. Just start with small little things, right? And then I promise you, they will just start building up, and so will your self-esteem, so will your confidence and all these things, and so will your outlook on life. And you'll see things will start changing on a bigger scale when you start telling yourself a different story every single day, okay? I'm done there. How do we also do this? You've got to start writing stuff down, okay? Literally, that's, for me, I find at least, is such a good way of getting rid of what is in my head, especially if it's negative. And you just start writing until that message starts changing, okay? And it does start changing once you empty your head, okay? Start writing stuff down. Try write stuff that is positive as well at some point, okay? And when you start finding the positive stuff, take it out, write it on a separate piece of paper, and start using that as something that you tell yourself every single day. You know what? Life's actually pretty good. I've got a roof over my head. I've got 3 good mates. I earn enough money to put food on the table. I get to see people every single day. Just small things, doesn't matter what it is. Just start writing, put down positive things, start saying those positive things every single day. Look in the mirror and tell yourself these things. Look at yourself, look in your own flippin' eyeballs and tell yourself, so that you go deep right in there, right? And you start telling yourself this different story so that you start changing that neurology, because I promise you, it starts making a difference, right? It might sound airy-fairy, but I swear it is not. It is something that's really important and is quite simple that anyone can actually do if they want to start shifting their outlook and their mindsets in life. Start giving yourself some credit. This is in line with start caring about yourself, but actually start giving yourself some credit. Celebrate the small things, celebrate the small victories, you know. Give yourself a pat on the back and you go, you know what? You actually did a good job today, and you did something cool, you did something good, you made somebody smile. Seriously, these things start making you feel better. They start bubbling up and they become bigger and bigger and bigger things. The story you tell yourself every single day is one of the most important stories, because remember, you're the one that has to live with the story, right? So if you start telling yourself a good story, it is going to make you change your outlook on life, and you're going to have probably better opportunities and live more up to your potential. Start smiling a little bit more and just have a greater outlook and better perspective on all the possibilities and opportunities out there. So enjoy, start telling yourself a good story, have a flippin' awesome Friday and weekend. I will speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.